Rookies need time to adjust to the NFL. I don't care what program you come from. You come from Alabama, you come from Michigan, Ohio State, USC. You need transition time to get up to speed for what the NFL is.
I know the answer from you would be like what Woj would say, both. But you could argue that in those controlled, whatever you want to call it, workouts with the Jaguars and the Giants going up against number ones was better preparation than playing against second or third stringers that the other teams would have had out there as well.
But if they're taking the regular season to ramp him up, where you're getting more in week 2 than you got in week 1, then why not do that in the preseason?
Okay, so I think who's the comparison guy that Gibbs has been compared to the most? Kind of what they want him, his role.
Kamara.
Yeah. Guess who played a lot of preseason football his rookie year?
Kamara.
Yeah. And he actually blossomed, and I'm not making a fantasy football argument, okay? He emerged on people who follow stuff closely as a sleeper that year. He came out of nowhere to the casual fan.
Oh, yeah, because the Lions took Chase Tabor instead of him.
You went there, not me.
I know.
When you watch that much film on a guy.
Exactly.
I mean, this is the game, and he should be motivated. He's going against the guy that got drafted ahead of him.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't Dan Campbell on that staff that played him in the preseason?
Yes.
But
it's changed.
Yes.
COVID affected how preseasons of 3 games affected things.
Right.
The workouts with the 2 teams have affected things. So I get it, and I'm just asking the question.
Right. The answer to the question I had going into the break, by the way, with all the injuries, is a loss acceptable? There's a difference between understanding and acceptability. I would understand it, but I wouldn't accept it.
No.
I mean, this is why you are a alleged division-winning team.
Yes.
Because you have enough depth on your roster that you can overcome this stuff.
And you also in a division where the division sucks.
True.
But here's my thing. When you draft a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs and you had the number 6 overall pick, we've talked about Jalen Carter. I'm not going to bring him up right now. But at 6, you had an opportunity to either take Bijan Robinson, who was gone at 8, so he was on the board. Now you have Jahmyr Gibbs that you trade back for, and then we saw the whole Lions Den video and all that stuff, and we saw how excited they were to get Jahmyr Gibbs. Like it was an elbow to the groin from Brad Holmes to Dan Campbell that they were so excited to get Jahmyr Gibbs, yet we've only seen him last week touched the ball 14 times.
But we didn't see the video of how pissed they were that Seattle took Weatherspoon, or maybe how pissed they were that Atlanta took Bijan. We don't know.
Okay.
Right, I know.
But when you have that type of reaction to getting a player,
I know, you expect
and
him to
you
be
draft
used.
a guy that high, that of a position that we don't think deserves to be drafted that high, and then you only use him, you only get 14 touches in week 2.
And the other thing is they had 14 guys with first-round grades and got 2 of them. Remember that?
Yeah.
So
maybe their grading system's a little weird.
This isn't even about Jalen Carter at this point and what they should have done. This is about Jahmyr Gibbs being a good NFL running back, and it's the easiest position, or arguably, to transition from college to pro. And maybe it's opportunity too, a little bit that he, not trying to be hard on him. I'm not trying to be critical of him, but he should be able to step into this role that Montgomery might not if he's not there.
He shouldn't have dropped that easy pass last week either.
Yeah, but I told you that before the season. Some of the hiccups early on, we were counting on rookies. Rookies drop passes, okay? We have got to be able to accept that. Now, if that continues, that's a problem. I'm not going to get on
I'm not getting on Gibbs for this. I'm getting on Ben Johnson and the coaching staff because he needs to be a bigger part of this offense.
Right.
Needs to be a much bigger part of this offense. Through 2 games, that to me should have been 1 game's totals. He touched the ball 25 times. 23 times. He had 14 carries, 9 receptions. That, at a minimum, should be 1 game's touches for Jahmyr Gibbs.
Frank in Clinton Township texts in, no, a loss is not acceptable even with the injuries because of the standard Brad Holmes set in his presser before the season started. He expects to consistently win games this season, be a contender. I don't remember his exact words, okay? Don't you think Chief fans were saying that even without Kelsey and Jones, they should find a way to beat the Lions? at home when they're the better team. Mahomes versus Goff. While it's true injuries are part of the game, not all good teams can overcome them. The Chiefs are still a good team. When their key guys are healthy and playing, so are the Lions, I think. So even if they lose this game, I'm not giving up on the season. That's from Jeremy. No. Nobody's saying to give up on the season. Even if you think the loss is unacceptable, you're still 1-2. The problem with the Lions taking Gibbs is because they view him as a change of pace back, just like they did with DeAndre Swift. They're always going to limit his touches, which is why you don't take that type of a guy 12. We can't keep losing to teams going for the same playoff spots as us.
Exactly. Yep. NFC teams. You lost to Seattle already.
Yes.
Atlanta, you can't lose to.
No. And, you want to make the similarity with Swift. Wasn't it in his first game as a pro against the Bears? Opening game, he dropped a touchdown pass that would have won the game.
Yeah.
At the very end of the game, yeah.
You can't lose to Desmond Ridder at home. I know that's a very simple way to look at it. That's how I feel about this game. I'm not going to take you serious as a football team if you can't beat that garbage quarterback at home. I can't.
Yep.